adventure classic loved by generations is now a brand new series. The myth, the miraculous legend lives again with Robin Hood.
Okay, who gets the massage first, Captain Smith or Mr. Jones?
For unbridled wit and hard-hitting comedy, it's John Viner in Bizarre on Showtime.
Will his daughter and grandson love him more? How do a couple of cons feel being bossed by a little girl?
Down.
Humble, perhaps? There's the story of the driver who needs a pit crew of kids to become a winner, and of the playwright who's no match for his own kids.
Are you going to marry this actress for something else?
The kids can always show the grown-ups a thing or two, like the boy who challenges a tribe for the love of a horse. Don't miss the Movies About Kids Week, April 22nd to 28th on Showtime.
The following film has been rated PG by the motion picture industry's rating system. Parents may consider that some of the program content may be unsuitable for children. Parental guidance is therefore suggested. This is the Showtime Entertainment Network.
This is Showtime, and here's what's coming next. The show that was too good for commercial television, The Paper Chase, the second year, with original cast members John Houseman and James Stevens. Next, James Hart and Connie Lehman find tension in their relationship. It's a question of commitments. Next.
It's tough being a teenager.
You know how the boys are these days, especially the wooden boys.
Your parents always pick on you.
I'm going to call you Pinocchio.
Pinocchio?
Not Pinocchio, Pinocchio.
You never know who your true friends are.
No, buddy, old pal of mine.
The streets are filled with danger.
You looking for some excitement, eh? Maybe some thrill, huh?
And your body goes through mysterious changes.
Nothing's wrong with Pinocchio.
No, just a little itch.
Poor Pinocchio. Will he ever learn to cut it as a real live boy?
No, don't panic.
Join James Coburn, Carl Reiner, and Paul Rubens as Pinocchio, a little guy who really grows on you, on the Ace Award-winning fairy tale theater only on Showtime.
I bet this is going to be the best show I've ever seen in my life.
From the deck of the aircraft carrier Constellation, it's a Star-Spangled Country Party, hosted by Hank Williams Jr. and starring Grammy Award winners Alabama, Earl Thomas Conley, Gus Hardin, and country music greats Waylon Jennings, Mel McDaniel, and Sylvia. It's the rowdiest party afloat, a Star-Spangled Country Party on Showtime. It's high-tech, high adventure, and high excitement. It's Showtime Movies in May.
Shall we play a game?
The world hovers on the brink of doom.
Oh, my God.
When a computer-crazy kid triggers WarGames. There are fantastic tales to challenge your imagination in the Twilight Zone, the movie.
I want these personal experiments stopped.
Adventures in the Mind enthrall Cliff Robertson and Natalie Wood in her last film, Brainstorm. Susan Sarandon, David Bowie, and Catherine Deneuve are enraptured by The Hunger.
What about the sky?
Time rated at one of the year's 10 best. Burt Lancaster stars in the comedy Local Hero. It's MGM's Diamond Jubilee, and Showtime invites you to celebrate with a month-long festival of memorable classics. Tom Sawyer is just one of the fine films for the whole family on Showtime's FamilyTime. It's adventure, excitement, all May long on Showtime.
Dreamed that I would have ever gotten a chance to sing. I wasn't even after a singing career. I just wanted to write and arrange.
Bill Harris in Hollywood. I have a brand new edition of Celebrity Lifestyle.
He's real good.
Yes. Thanks.
Do you watch him often?
Thanks. No, actually, I don't. I just do it. I don't look at the tapes unless I have to.
Well, you hear from the audience that things are going very, very well.
I love it, yeah.
The world tour was an absolute sensation.
Yes. From my point of view as well. Sometimes they're they're hard. They're hard to do. Different hotel rooms and different interviewers and different stages every night. But this one was long, and it was exhausting, but it was very exciting.
I was reading the report following you when you got home here, and we could do this interview, because I had the wonderful question. Your fans know that you recorded your first record at the age of 3. Right?
I did. My grandfather used to, my grandfather noticed that I was musical when I was a little baby. And every Saturday afternoon, as soon as I could walk, he would take me to Times Square. And he would plop his quarter or nickel in those record your own voice things, you know, and would have me do something, either sing Happy Birthday to some cousin, or I would sing a pop song of the day, really, when I was 3 years old. And we have all these little records. You know. So I started, there wasn't a contract or anything, you know,
right.
For a nickel.
Now, you all started this in Williamsburg section of Brooklyn, not one of the garden spots of the world.
That's true. Although I didn't know it when I was growing up, you know, I thought it was, I mean, I didn't have anything to compare it to. When I left, I finally realized that I'd grown up in a slum.
You once said, being a slum kid from a broken home gives you immense strength.
Well, you know what I think? It gives you street smarts, and I rely on that a lot. Anything after that, you know, is training and education, but those street smarts are real important.
They're better than a college degree at times,
Well,
aren't
at times, yeah, you learn how to handle the world by being down to earth and being very logical and realistic.
Speaking of the subject of things you learned, music lessons, and I guess Dick Contino must have been your guide.
No, it was my idol, although I don't want to smear Dick Contino. I think he's good, but he wasn't my idol. Although they did stick an accordion in my hands when I was a kid. They stuck an accordion in every Jewish kid's hand in my neighborhood, actually every Jewish and Italian kid. And everybody played the accordion for about 5 minutes in my neighborhood except for me. I played it for 7 years.
And music in school, too. You had honors and distinctions?
Well, not that many, no. No, I don't. No, not honors and distinctions. No, I wouldn't say that. But I was musical. I was the best musician. I was the musician in the gang. Yeah.
By 1975, Newsweek said you're possibly the most heard and hummed musician of all time. But once and for all, let's clear it up. Barry Manilow did not write the McDonald's
jingle. I didn't write. And the guy that does write it comes out of the woodwork now and again and goes, "Stop saying that." And I never said it. I never said it.
But you sure did sing it.
But I sang, and I was one of the jingle singers that sang on the McDonald's commercial, and I actually got to sing a solo about French fries once.
one of those milestones. Listen, the one I remember most, Bowling Toilet Cleaner.
I know, it's one of the things that follow me around.
What was that one now?
It was called the Toilet Bowl Blues, or the Bathroom Bowl Blues. And actually, you know who did the demo on that? Who?
No, I don't know.
Bette Midler. Who else would do the demo on that? Got me the job. She did it with her heart and her soul.
Speaking of Bette Midler, the year's 1972, the Battle of the BMs. Barry Manilow, Bette Midler. Right?
I don't think it's a battle.
Well, you said it was hate at first sight.
That's just, I was just kidding around.
Were you now?
I was just kidding around. Yeah, it wasn't really hate. But we just were two strong, opinionated people in the same room. But it wasn't hate. No, we never hated each other.
And now, of course, there's love. But you worked very, very well for the benefit of both of you.
Yeah, it was fun. I wouldn't ever trade away those days. They were my learning days. I think they were Bette's learning days too. They were wonderful.
What did Barry contribute to Bette? And what did Bette
Who knows?
Really,
who knows? I know. I was her piano player, and I gave her some arrangements, and I helped to co-produce the first couple of albums. Who knows what I contributed? I mean, I give all the credit to her. She was brilliant.
You did a tour with Bette Midler, and the deal was you get to sing 3 of your own songs per show.
Right.
The very first time you do it, a little bit of stomach upset.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, well, it was because the very first time I did it was at the Meriwether Post Pavilion. I don't know if you know where that is. It's outside of Washington, D.C., and it's one of those indoor-outdoor places. Indoor, under a shell, there's about 5,000 people, and then on a lawn behind that, there's 15,000 people. And it was sold out. And that was my first time, unannounced, without billing. Aaron wouldn't give me billing. And I just walked out and tried to open the second act. So, did you get sick? I stood in the wings saying to myself, what are you doing? What are you doing? They're going to kill you. They didn't kill me. I mean, they didn't stand up and scream the first time. But I survived.
By 1973, you invest $5,000 of your own money and make a demo record.
Yeah?
But it gets you the contract.
Yeah? You know, that demo record was only to show the songs. It wasn't to show the singers. I was just trying to peddle the songs. And they bought the whole thing. They bought the whole package. I had no idea that I was going to be a singer. I wasn't pushing to be a singer at all.
But Barry Manilow doesn't really just sell a voice or a song. There's a whole... What is it?
Well, you see, because I'm not sure that I'm that good of a singer, I concentrate on other things. Yes, I hit the notes, you know, and I'm in tune because I'm a musician, but I think that I like to do more than sing. I think singing is sort of not that much work. Communicating is a lot of work, and I like that. I like to move people.
Do you get nervous when, what's your record, 28, 29 top 40 hits in a row? I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
And it's wonderful, of course.
And it's wonderful.
But what about the nerves?
It's terrible. Well, you know, it's a little bit of both. It's, I try not to give this pressure to myself. You know, I try not to think about 26, 27. That means that 28's got to be a top 40 hit too. But it's the truth. The public seems to like what I do. I'm so happy about it.
Boy, they sure do. Here's a Barry Manilow quote. Of the 10 songs on an album, I may have thrown away 50. Each year it gets harder to come up with the hits.
Each year.
Do you think a person only has so many hits, or is it just...
I don't know. I don't know. I hope, yes, no, yes. I hope not. I don't know.
Okay. How do you know? Somewhere, there must be, for instance, a song you wrote that you said, I've got a hit.
Never.
Right in the... No?
Never.
You've never gone in thinking that?
I am very insecure about my own writing, although I try my best to continue to write and continue to write the best I can possibly write. I never, ever say that's a hit. I've never said that about my own stuff. I've never said that about anybody's stuff, except when I heard Love Will Keep Us Together in Don Kirsh's office once. I said, that's a hit. Yeah.
Speaking of great songs, a song called Brandy comes along.
Yeah.
But the title's no good.
Well, Brandy was, Clive Davis, the president of Arista, showed me Brandy. And he said, with a little work, he thought that the song had it to be a hit. He was the only person I've ever met that said, that's a hit song. And is right.
And his record proves, yes.
And is right, you know. I admire that. And he was right about Brandy. We changed it around, we slowed it down, changed the name to Mandy, and bingo.
Did you actually sit and think of Mandy, Pandy, different names?
Yeah,
How did you...
for a minute. For a minute, yeah. The only reason I didn't use Brandy, by the way, was because there had just been a song called Brandy by a group called Looking Glass. You're Brandy, you're a fine girl. And it was just out. And so we changed it to, we were going to call it Candy, and we got Mandy.
When we speak of big Barry Manilow hits, great Barry Manilow hits, Copacabana.
Yeah, that's the biggest record I've ever had, and it wasn't the #1 record here, like I Write the Songs or Mandy or It Looks Like We Made It or Can't Smile Without You, but Copacabana was the biggest international hit I've ever had, that I had. And when I did Europe this last time, even though they didn't know my name in some places, all you have to do is hum at the Copa, and they would say, oh, yeah.
At times, critics have been real tough on you.
At times. All the time.
Today
all the time.
Really? Why do you present such a target, do you think, or why don't they...
I don't know why. I guess maybe I read the Noel Coward biography. Did you read the Noel Coward biography? He's very clever. And he's very successful, too, with the public, you know, and was not very successful with the critics. And there's a quote in his biography that says that he says, I've been irritatingly successful, and that's why the critics don't like me. And that could be one of the millions of reasons that they don't like me. They give you lots of reasons in their reviews, but I think it's probably because I've been irritatingly successful, and they're probably trying to slap me around.
Have you managed to stop reading the reviews? I mean, let's just stop this for a while and perform. No. Still read them.
I must have a masochistic streak in me or something. But I run out in the morning and I get those reviews, you know, and sometimes they're nice to me, sometimes they aren't. Most of the time they're not.
Let's talk about England. You won that country over. In fact, I remember a story that you went out walking. It was one of the few places in the world you could be anonymous, you said once.
For a day.
Recognized you.
Yeah, for a day. Paul McCartney. Yeah, Paul McCartney. That was right before I did a major TV show there. And then from then on in, it was a little more difficult to walk the streets of London.
You just walked in front of 40,000 at Blenheim.
That has to be one of the most...
What a site you picked. How did Blenheim's what, centuries old?
Centuries old.
The castle of castles.
Yeah. My record company and the promoters decided that this was a beautiful site. Nobody had ever had a pop concert there, ever. And they went and they asked the Duke of Marlborough a couple of times, and then he finally saw it. Yeah, please. He said, Barry, who? And he saw a couple of videotapes, and he thought that it would work. And he gave us the site, and we built this enormous thing on the site. And you know what we did with this enormous thing at the end of the whole night?
No.
We burned it.
Did you? A giant bonfire?
Well, not literally, but it just leaves. It goes away. And they just junk it. After like 6 weeks of putting it together and building it and lots of money, you know, and lots of effort, there's nothing to do with it. They just got to the wind.
How about the castle itself? You were a guest inside.
Yeah, that
Pretty
was...
nice little place.
Oh, it's like Versailles, you know.
And boy, so is the gentleman himself, on and off stage. We wanted you to meet Barry Manilow at home, but do not miss him performing, taped live, in concert, from England. The Showtime exclusive, Faerie at Blenheim, all next month. But right now, with my thanks to you and my thanks to Barry, Bill Harris in Hollywood, we will talk again.
When a boy from Brooklyn takes Britain by storm, it's a once-in-a-lifetime music event. Barry Manilow in an all-new concert recorded live at Blenheim Palace. Showtime puts you right on stage as the sun goes down and the night lights up with Manilow magic. Both the concert at Blenheim Palace, it's new. It's on Showtime.
He was a typical modern kid, a master at computer games.
We got something.
He found the right code word.
Shall we play a game?
But for the wrong computer.
What the hell?
And before he knew it, the game was beyond his control.
This is high. I repeat, confidence is high. This is not an exercise.
He found the button to start it, but could he find the button to stop it? Matthew Broderick and Dabney Coleman star in WarGames on Showtime.
For a Pulitzer Prize-winning play, take a nice, ordinary American family.
My mother writes plays because 8 years ago a typewriter was delivered here by mistake.
Add a dash of lovable and eccentric characters.
How do you do?
And a lover with stuffy parents. Jason Robards and Colleen Dewhurst star in a new production of You Can't Take It With You, also starring George Rose and Elizabeth Wilson. An eccentric romantic comedy on Broadway on Showtime.
The following Showtime series contains mature subject matter. Parents may consider some of the program content unsuitable for children. Parental discretion is advised.